So I want to share this. I know I only got a couple articles left, Forbes. It's just the article I found. It was like a article I saw earlier. And it was like, it typically takes somebody, a job seeker, 3 to 6 months to find a new job
I would say a little
on
bit longer than
average.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. This market is different. I don't know. And this is the thing too that I do like to say with data, because I said on the last episode, just because that's what the data says, that don't mean it's telling the whole story. We don't know what career fields or what these people are in. So it's not absolute that say that's what it should take. For now, if they encompass everything that's been going on in 2024, they may say 3 to 8, 3 to 10 months. I've
I
seen
would
people
say
that do
9 to
more.
12. Yeah. Depending on what, and especially I think for me, a lot of the people I've been seeing are kind of more so early in career, or they are like well into their career, senior level type of roles. So that makes it difficult. Both of those.
Yeah, I agree. That's actually one of the comments that I had earlier. I was like, for a person who have a lot of experience, they got to play the numbers game and just
Exactly.
try
Yep.
to get in where they fit in. For just if you're gonna go strictly off applying, but there are easier ways. You just gotta build up your network. So this thing says the latest data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reveals that job seekers who apply for 21 to 80 jobs have about a 30% chance of receiving a job offer. Paradoxically, it was found that the candidates who applied for more than 81 jobs reduced their prospects with a 20% chance of receiving an offer, according to job search website Zippia, which I can see that if you're not focused, like I said, if you're just applying for any and everything, it'd be an
That's
issue.
what you'll be doing. Just clicking on any easy apply, anything to get another app crossed off the list. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can tell y'all from experience as being a career coach, when I sat down with my clients and saying, no, okay, what have you applied to? Or we do a consultation. I'm saying, what's the recent jobs you applied to? And I'm looking at your resume versus the job you applied to. I said, one or two things, you don't have these skills or they're not listed on your resume, but this is why you're not getting called back. So I told them, said, hey, you're going to be more successful if you apply to stuff that it looked like you could possibly do. But if you're trying to apply to all this other stuff, but you don't have no projects, you got no skill sets, none of this other stuff, they're not going to call you back, fam. No matter how
Yeah.
good your resume look. And that's why I'm a person that also really fixates on the contents of your resume versus just having a nice looking resume. It's like going to get a O2 Crown Vic and putting a new uh paint on the body, but the motor bad. You ain't finna go nowhere but around the block, and then it's gonna stop.
And pretty resumes is really out of style unless you finna hand it to somebody in person. It needs to be as simple, basic as possible.
Well, no, I'm not even talking about that. Like, for example, you're trying to be a security analyst, but your jobs are, you were a stalker at Walmart, and then after
Yeah.
that, you were asset protection like for 3 years. Don't get me wrong, you can get in a certain type of way, but if that's all you ain't got no certifications, you got no projects, you
No
got no skills,
projects. Yeah.
no
You
CTFs. Yeah,
it looks insane.
I can make it
But you
seem like
don't
you led. Go ahead.
but you don't know what you don't know. So now that you know, you know.
Yep.
There's some you can put something in there. You can go on the website, do a couple courses. You can illustrate those skills even if you haven't been hired somewhere to do them yet.
Yep. And I definitely can I can make it look good. I can make it sound like you a supervisor and you was a manager and all this other stuff. Now, listen, if you do want to finesse them, all right, just tell them you work cybersecurity at Circus City or Payless, Kmart. Like, them places ain't open no more. So if you want to tell them that you did it there, then by all means, tell them.
Someone in the comments said that they have never um, heard anything back from Easy Apply. So they fill out the whole application. They rather fill out the whole application.
Right. Right. So let's get back to the article. It says, therefore, applying for too many jobs can be self-defeating because although it appears that you're exposing yourself to more opportunities, it actually may diminish your chances of being hired. If you apply to hundreds of jobs, especially within a short space of time, such as 2 or 3 months, there's a high probability that you have merely skimmed through applications click easy apply button, and not be able to give each one intense or quality tailored effort. Keep your gaze fixed on a number of applications as though it were the numbers game is misleading because the more you apply for, the more you reduce the quality and energy you put into your applications. And unless you're able to sell yourself to employees, which is what we talked about. And I think this is kind of this title may sum up how Buddy was feeling. Destroys your mental health. Applying for roles in the panic apply mode ruins your mental health due to the sheer number of low quality applications you're sending. You could be sure to expect a significant rejection rate via rejection emails and even ghosting, comparable in proportion to the number of applications you've sent out. This can cause depression, stress, and anxiety as you notice that the harder you try, the deeper you sink into the quicksand of unemployment. Receiving a large number of rejection emails in quick succession can injure your self esteem and confidence and make it harder for you to have the energy to project a strong personal brand image to the next employer.
I
So,
think I love the part where they said, um, I feel like it's like you once you get all those rejections, you start to get like rejection fatigue, like or you
mhm,
become um okay, whatever, next. And like you don't think and stop, okay, I got 57 rejections. I need to pivot. I need to do something different because it just becomes so normal for you, desensitized from those rejections. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I've been through that, especially when I wasn't getting a lot. Mine was different because I was going through processes or knowing I was a good fit, and they didn't want to pay. I know for a fact a lot of them didn't want to pay me at the time what I should have been getting paid for some of the roles. I already knew how I was going. They never
Mhm.
would never say it. Or like I said, if we want to be, more nuanced as being black people, sometimes you get into like back in the day, I'm talking about suited and booted, going into the interview with a panel of number white people, just like I feel like I'm just here to be their diversity interview person.
Or their personality higher.
Because the people would be laughing at the jokes, you'd be answering stuff good, and then all of a sudden, in 2 weeks, yeah, they decided to go with somebody with more experience. I'm like, you knew my experience before I got the role, and this role don't require for that much experience. So, what you talking about?
Yep.
Just say you found somebody that's a better fit. Don't give me. I just do not like that experience piece because that's some bull. Because if you decide to interview me, don't tell me that because you can
Because you
know for
gave
no
me
recruiting
time.
call you don't want me.
Exactly. Or my resume.
Now, guys, this is what we alluded to earlier about networking, and let's see what they got to say. According to Zippia, 80% of hires come through networking, not scouring through job boards. Recent estimates also show that 70% of jobs are not posted on widely used job sites, which is a fact. I have this in my ebook. While Deloitte reveals that individuals will need to find others who can help them get better faster, small work groups, organizations, and broader and more diverse social networks. Therefore, it makes more sense to focus on building the quality of your applications and network instead of the mere quantity of applications. So they nailed it on the head. Let's see if they got anything else that I kind of haven't told anybody already. I guess we can go ahead and go through the whole article for people. Build your personal brand on LinkedIn. Focus on completing your LinkedIn profile and establishing yourself as a sought after candidate on LinkedIn. Make your profile tell and show your career story and contribute meaningless insight. Hey, they stole this from my ebook. Relevant to your expertise and desired role. Engage meaningfully with others, post, and add significant value through your presence on the platform. And I'll actually add some more onto that. When you start branding yourself, like I say, as a sought after candidate, even if you're a person with no experience, like for example, the things that Destiny and I were talking about earlier before we got to this subject. If you're young, trying to get into cybersecurity, one of the questions they always ask is, hey, how do you keep up with cybersecurity news? So what you should probably do every day is every time it's a new breach or something out, you want to maybe fixate on one or the people who are behind these breaches. Shoot, you better get into your threat intel bag and start breaking some of these things down and start posting about the breaches and what you would do and maybe how you could attack these from a security engineering standpoint, SecOps, IR, strategy, whatever you want to do. But you can start posting about stuff like that. And what eventually happen is, and while you're building up your LinkedIn, people start noticing that You have a knack for doing that. And whether it's the best, like breakdown people have seen, the fact that you're doing it, one day a job you're going to apply to, you're going to see that hiring manager views your page and he's probably going to ask you about these things in your interview. Or when it comes to maybe wanting to get a referral from somebody and they say, yeah, I'll refer you. I've been really, sitting back and seeing all the stuff that you've been writing about. So we'd love to have somebody like you on the team. That's a way to actually get referrals. I already kind of show that you got value. But if I go to your page and I'm not already following you, and the first thing you do when you connect with me is saying, hey, are you hiring or can you refer me or all this other stuff, it's not gonna work that good. You gotta actually build it up. Like nobody just build a bridge in one day. It take baby steps. So you gotta lay the foundation and then build that bridge to probably getting that referral. But once it's built, you should be good and make sure that network is always warm and make sure it's not just a one-way transaction. Like when recruiters reach out to me for a job or other people, if I'm asking them for something, I'm always saying, hey, if I can never do anything for you, please let me know. Or if it's a job, a recruiter reach out to me that I'm not feeling, or maybe not money not right. I'm like, okay, it's not a good fit for me, but I do know if some qualified applicants, I'm going to send them your way. That's how I start building that bridge to where they think about me and say, hey, yeah, this was your range. We had this open up, let's get on the call if you can. But you got anything to add to that, Des?
I think it's important to also be consistent. Like a lot of the times, you're looking for immediate interactions, gratifications, comments, but be consistent with your post, and eventually you'll be able to pick up that engagement piece. So don't be afraid if no one likes it. It's okay. On and move onward and forward to the next one. This is not Instagram.
Mhm. And so this is kind of already touching on what I said, quality connection. So people that will be on the teams you want to work with, people that are industry leaders, even good content creators that, you can see their work history and the things they talk about. If they got a big following, if they post a lot, that's where you're going to start like making your bones. And listen, I'm going to tell you something that they're not going to say. Be controversial. Be as controversial as you can on LinkedIn. That's, want like respect, but be controversial. Hot takes. Get people to come check out your posts. Say something outlandish. People, every time we make a video about the Security Plus, it get views. Know why? Because that is heralded to everybody about Security Plus. And I know exactly what I'm doing. If I title something about you don't need to get Security Plus or this or that, I know exactly what I'm doing. It's going to force a conversation for people to either say yay or nay, or saying maybe we need to kind of come back to this conversation and see what we need to do. Like when I'm always attacking A plus and telling people, hey, if you're trying to get into cybersecurity, know the material in a sense, but you don't have to go waste money for that actual exam and cert to get it. Because most of the jobs you look for when you're trying to get into cybersecurity will not need an A plus on it.
For sure.
You're gonna say,
Especially in
you're right.
cyber.
Skip it. Like you're gonna rarely be touching hardware unless you're gonna be at one of those companies where you're like the jack of all trades IT person.
Yep.
That's so. Let me see. Now, I'm gonna see if I agree with this or not. Take time to focus on meticulously tailoring every detail of your application, from the research you do into each company to the keywords you insert throughout your resume to the examples you provide to support your application. You may only be able to apply for 1 or 2 roles a week, but this is more beneficial and laser focused than applying to several hundred within the same period. Ultimately, applying for hundreds of jobs is proven to be ineffective and is wasting your precious time. The golden range of 21 to 80, as cited in Zippia study, is not about numbers, it's about quality over numbers. Invest your energy and effort into improving your 2 important assets, your network and your portfolio of application documents. Remember, the success of your search isn't dependent on volume. Less is more. I actually agree. I agree on that. I don't agree that you got to tailor it for everything because some of your resumes may fit just that role that you're applying to. So I would not necessarily say that you would have to tailor it for everything. But for the most part, I do agree with the keywords and speaking to what's on the job description, especially like I said, if it's roles you're really interested in, do it. But see, what they didn't put in there that I tell you to do is, and I show you this with the group coaching or the one-on-one coaching, we go even past that. We go through, okay, we headhunting, we trying to find a hiring manager, somebody on the team, a recruiter. And there are tricks that I've learned through doing this that I can show you how to find these people that you know what I'm saying, they're not just saying, hey, I work for so and so. It's little tricks. You can find them in the job description. And like I said, if you do want to know about that kind of stuff, like getting a group coaching, get a tech resume or something like that, you get access for a year. But those are things that I show you that I've done that you can do that'll at least lead to you getting a response or, you know, an interview eventually. I'm just saying. I think the one that you want to touch on after this was, and actually, I've never, shout out to Tech, man. Appreciate it for the slice of pizza. Let me see what some of these comments said. That's my guy, man. Listen, hey, speaking of, if you are trying to do help desk tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, definitely go check out Tech Supports YouTube
Ty
channel. I
Grant.
had a
Oh,
client
sorry.
in a group coaching today. He reached out to me. He was ecstatic because he's been getting some interviews and stuff. And he has a tier 2 help desk interview coming up. He said, how would I prepare for it? I immediately sent him Kevin's YouTube channel. He has pretty much all them questions they're going to ask you. He's broken them down. He got walkthroughs. He got labs. He got everything you would need on his YouTube channel. So you definitely should check that out. You have something to add this?
I was just saying, Ty Grant said when I was searching, I made 3 different versions of my
There you go.
resume to match the role that I wanted. And yeah, that's very smart. Depending on how wide your skill set is, you may need to make more than that, but that is very wise to do.
Yeah, I agree. You got 3. Like I got one that's a base, and then like for certain ones, I would do my first last name underscore the role, well, whatever role it was or the company, and I would probably change certain things about it. Also, guys, free game. You sometimes what I've seen in certain companies, the title of your job at your company is not a popular role amongst the industry. Like I had a guy, we got a console, we talked before, but he is like a security admin. And I was like, I would figure out what entails your role and map it to a more important term that's like more widely known versus saying a security admin. Cause I'm like, okay, what is a security admin?
I
And
was
so I
just
need to
gonna
figure
say
out
it's
what you do.
broad. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you want to get specific and popular with your titles as possible. And that'll help you get a little bit more callbacks. And also, if you live close to a bigger city, put the bigger city on there instead of your smaller city too. That'll help you out as well, especially if it's, you know, commuting distance. Because sometimes they was like, oh, this person don't stay in, you know, Dallas, they stay in Prosper. I'm like, put Dallas on there. It's a DFW. So yeah, that's the key because those HR people go crazy with the controversy. Blackjack says, I lost my Udemy certificate on my resume for certs I studied but didn't take official exam. Okay. Cool. I think we got to everything. Let me make sure I didn't miss nobody else. Okay, they're talking about some of the stuff we was talking about in the past. Yo, hey, shout out to my guys right here, man. Menace Material Entertainment. Man, listen, they have like 3 or 4 podcasts on their channel. Now, the one I tune into the most is Homeroom University, and they critique like the popular podcast was like pop culture, and they really be cooking. Like I ain't never even asked AJ this yet, but I'm like, whenever I'm out that way, I'm definitely gonna see if I can make an appearance on the show. They out there in I believe they're in Charlotte. So shout out to them. Let me see when my guy Kev here real quick. The issue I had with someone who did a call with me is that his resume was tailored to help desk cybersecurity. It's like very misleading. Do you want to work help desk or security? Keep it simple. That's it. Listen,
Yeah.
that's it too. Or I see somebody that is clearly they are doing help desk stuff, but they changed it to like security engineer or SOC analyst or something like that. And I'm like, bro, I can see that that's not what you're doing at work. Like, just change your title ain't gonna work. Is not. You'd be better off finding somebody resume and putting their bullet points on there and hopefully being able to explain them in an interview versus what you're doing.
Yep.
But what I often find out doing all these consults is they are doing a lot of things that are cyber related that they're not aware of. Like I'm telling you, a lot of help desk people do a lot of identity access management, and they are like, "I am," and they don't know about it. I'm like, "Well, why would your boss and them tell you you're doing identity access management? Because if they did tell you that, they know they have to pay you more. But because your job says help desk, service desk, desktop support, customer service, whatever it is, they know they don't have to pay you what you deserve to be paid. So that's why you got to always, try to make sure you're not getting finessed."